What's good, people? It's your boy Twale, here to bring you a review for Kingdom, chapter 607, entitled Commander's Conversation. I know I'm a little bit late, but I figured with the break, might as well, take my time to really gather my thoughts on this chapter. Okay, now, before I begin, I just want to say, in Ousen, I still trust. My mans was a goddamn, he was a goddamn Houdini this chapter. Just making moves, not nobody knowing what the fuck is going on. The misdirect, the sleight of hand. My man Ousen for the fucking win. Because the chapter opens up with him decimating Earl Rye's army. According to the chapter, from both Earl Rye's units and Ousen's units, they were like the second and third platoon was destroying their enemy. Earl Rye had lost two of his named commanders, and Ousen's people was like, we can destroy half their numbers in this one battle. So it's like the same thing that Shin and the right wing took like 15 days to do. Destroy half of Chogaryu's army, destroy half of Banaji's army. My man Ousen did it in like an hour. Like, yo, I fucks with Ousen hard body right now. Right now, Ousen is that dude. I don't care what nobody say. Now, I know a lot of people are questioning whether my man was using instincts or not. And me personally, I think he was using instincts due to the context clues of the orders that he gave his men and the way he himself spoke about it. It just seemed to me that it wasn't his normal thing. Because when you reread 606 and you see the messages going to his men on the battlefield, like once Earl Rye and them switched to tactics, and Ousen was like, all right, bet, you're not using instincts anymore, you're using tactics. Once they switched to tactics, Ousen was able to, with his instincts, he was able to feel them out, in my opinion. Because Ousen is a strategic general just like Raboku is. So it wouldn't make sense for his foot soldiers not to be like highly adept when it comes to strategy. But the fact that every single one of his units were confused and or questioning the not the logic behind his order, but they were questioning the order like, wait, what are you talking about? And Ousen was just like, the messenger was just like, Ousen knows it'll come. Oh, just go here, it'll happen. Just do this and they'll come. It's the same way Shin was conducting battle with Gyo-un. To where Gyo-un and Shin was just like, send the infantry to shake them up, and then send that wave and then send that unit to destroy them and flank them. Like, it wasn't as broad as that because Ousen himself is a strategic general. So he can use his instincts and still give strategic orders to help out his soldiers who are not instinctual. So him saying, turn around, about face, and flank the cavalry coming, when his soldiers go, what are you talking about? And the messenger goes, they'll be there. Ousen-sama said they'll be there. That's him using instincts to guide his units. To guide his strategic units, just like how Raboku was using instinctual orders to he was giving his soldiers instinctual orders, even though he himself is a strategist and his army is based around strategy. He gave his men the instinctual orders to do whatever they felt was right. So that's why I believe Ousen is a dual hybrid and instinctual type of general, because he literally said at the end of the chapter, when viewed in that manner, the instinctual manner, origins become surprisingly easy. So at least for that counter against Earl Rye, that was all instinctual, because that's what was worded. When viewed in this manner, origins become surprisingly clear. And since Ousen is always viewing things in a strategic manner, for him to say in this manner, it must be a strategic manner. It must be in an instinctual manner when he's surprised that, or like the origins, and it's easy to see the flow of things. Then we go to Earl Rye. No, not Earl Rye. We go to Earl Ko and Raboku and Denrimi and So-O, because all of them are lost by my man Ousen's next move. Because instead of completely decimating Earl Rye's army, he said, nah, fuck that. We gonna head left. They're gonna follow us because they have no other choice but to follow us. So they're gonna follow us. We're gonna head left to Denrimi, gather everybody up and take them out in one swoop, because he didn't want things to get annoying. Now, as he's doing this, everybody on the battlefield is completely like at a loss. Like even Raboku was at a loss. Denrimi was at a loss. Both of the Earls was at a loss. The only person who knew any type of move to make was So-O, my man's with the twirls in his head. Yo, my man's was like, oh, word? Because I think he's an instinctual type general too. I think like it was stated that like those at the peak of martial might, you know what I'm saying, those commanders that lead from the front, those are the ones that like are like the I don't want to say the epitome of instincts, but those are the ones that like lean heavily towards instincts. So I feel like So-O is the instinctual type. Denrimi is clearly the strategic type. Mako and Akko might have been dual, like they might have been taught strategy and had some basic instincts, but for the most part, it just like, it seems like So-O is the instinctual one out of Ousen's commanders. So he sees what Ousen is doing, and he immediately gets his men, because they were stationed a little bit to the rear, because he only used, I believe it was 1,000 of his men to do that probe, so he still had 9,000 men behind him ready to go. So he calls them to the front. Ousen's men see that and reports to Ousen. Ousen's like, foo. Sends them messages. He sends Denrimi messages to have his army form up the center of the crane. He has So-O form up the left wing of the crane. Then he splits up his HQ into like 3 different platoons to make the right wing of the crane, the center wall, and the left wing, the left gap wing or some shit like that. Wasn't entirely sure. I'm not a strategist. But Ousen got his men into formation called the Great Red Crane Formation or something like that, while his men were in the middle of fighting, while Raboku was just sitting there with the yo. So Raboku has no plays to make, which honestly surprised the fuck out of me. I legit thought that when Ousen showed himself and then Ousen decimated Earl Rye's people, that Raboku was gonna do something, you know what I'm saying, gather his men, Kane Fute, what's that other fool's name, Kinmo, you know what I'm saying, I figured that he would use them and then they would go and try to save and salvage the situation. No, because your man Raboku didn't know nothing to do. He was sitting there at a loss, because he knew more than the Earls did, because he knew that it wasn't like foolhardy. He knew that Ousen just wasn't gambling and just like, because the Earls thought that Ousen was just giving up on tactics and gambling and rushing and being hasty and all of that. But Raboku is smart enough to know this ain't no gamble. And the fact that he was able to decimate the Earl Rye's army, then move his army to the left to help Denrimi get rid of Earl Ko, then have his men all form up into the Great Red Crane Formation in the middle of their battles, because when he went to go help Denrimi, it became nothing but chaotic melees to everybody but Ousen. So the fact that Ousen is able to get all of this done, you know what I'm saying, within hours, like I want to say hours, if not minutes, you know what I'm saying, and then he's able to just change everything on its head. Like, it went from 2 chapters ago, Denrimi and So-O was getting stonewalled and pincered, to now Ousen is making all the maneuvers, and he's just that man. Because, like, we all know what happens at the end of the chapter. My man just strolls up to Raboku and was like, yo, join me. Like, yo, oh my God. Yo, that was so epic. I'm sorry. That was fucking epic. Because it's like, we know this about Ousen. We know he's the type to recruit people he deemed worthy and people he views are talented. And we know Raboku, in terms of strategic acuity in terms of martial might. Well, in terms of martial might, we know he's no slouch. We just don't know like how strong he is. But in terms of strategy, we know he's A1. Like, you know what I'm saying? So Ousen, being Ousen, is gonna try to recruit him. And the things that Ousen is saying is not wrong. But I don't think that Ousen is aware of the Zhao Prince. Because if he was aware of the Zhao Prince, I don't think he would go about it in this manner. Like if Ousen was aware of Prince Kai and Raboku's admiration for him and Raboku's feelings that like he can be the one to lead them out of Zhao, then I don't think Ousen would make this attempt because it would be futile. Like next chapter we're gonna see it's gonna be futile. Raboku's gonna say something like, "Nah, fuck you, Ousen. I'm a rock with me. I'm a rock with Zhao, and you know what I'm saying? We're gonna defeat y'all every time or whatever." You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I don't think he's gonna accept. But it's because the Zhao Prince, you know what I'm saying? Like Raboku sees a great light in him. Raboku sees that like this kid is not his father. This kid will put the citizens and will put the state above himself to get, you know what I'm saying, to do what needs to be done. Because Ousen admitted himself that the only reason why he chose to press forward from Retsubi was because he was 100% confident and 100% sure that the Zhao King would not send the Katan army of 100,000 elites to come save them. Like Raboku, and this is again, Raboku's overconfidence in these situations, like it just baffles me. But you can't, like, I can't just expect him to just give up, you know what I'm saying, and just go talk with Ousen and just be like, yeah, I give up. So I get it, but it's like, how you expecting somebody to surrender after they was literally moments away from decimating your entire army? Like, if Ousen didn't stop to have this conversation, more than likely Earl Rai and Earl Ko's army would have been decimated. And Fute and Kane and Kinmo, no. They would have gotten decimated too. And then with Shin and them coming through the flank, it'd have been too much. It'd have really been too much. Like in all honesty, I don't even think Ousen needed Shin to come flank anymore. He really could have taken care of this by himself. At least that's what it looks like. But Raboku walks up because he sees that like the way things are forming up, you know what I'm saying, it might be wise to go down there and have a little chat with Ousen. So he does. And him and Ousen are talking. And it starts off with Raboku talking a lot of shit like, yo, you're out of food, this, that, and the third, you're surrounded, just give up. And I promise you and your men, I promise your men lives will be spared and all of this extra shit. And then Ousen is just like, nigga, please. I know for a fact Gil don't got no more food. Nigga, please. Get the fuck out of here, Raboku. And then Raboku hits him with the, a nation's history Gil will not fall because Zhao is 100 and some odd years worth of history and it will not be such an easy morsel. And then Ousen hits him with the big facts like, yo, how long a nation has been a nation has never mattered when the people running that nation are complete dumbasses. And Raboku himself knows this. Because this is exactly what he told Kane when they left Kantan. That a kingdom is not brought down by its enemies, but it's brought down by its king. And then he even alluded that the current Zhao king was just like two previous kings who were tyrants and led their states to ruin. So Raboku knows what Ousen says to be true. Like, he knows what Ousen is saying is 100% correct. That no matter how long or how rich Zhao's history is, when you have a fuckboy like the pedo king at the top, and he won't give you the resources that you need to adequately defend yourself, it's like, yeah, my nigga, how long you've been a country, how long you've been a nation, how strong that nation has been, won't matter once you yourself, Raboku, are gone. And Raboku, like, you can see it in the panels that, like, Raboku was kind of, like, Like he kind of like, he's like, yeah, motherfucker, I know this already. So then like, yo, just talk. What do you want, my nigga? Like, and the fact that Raboku in this position of power, right? Because yo, Quinn is starving, and you can let them starve to death, or you can wipe them out in the battle, right? So the fact that you are like, Ousen, yo, what do you want, my nigga? What do you, yo, speak plainly. I'm tired of reading code. What do you want? Yo, come join me. Come join the dark side, bruh. Yo! Ousen is that man, son. I don't care what nobody said. Now, in terms of like Ousen wanting to start his own kingdom and wanting to be a king, blasphemous. That is not what my man's is saying. My man's is a noble of the state of Quinn who during his entire tenure as a general has not made any plans or moves for the throne. Even after King Sho died and Ryufui had put Sei's weak ass father in, didn't make a move. When Ryufui and the other dude Kotetsu was fighting for was going through the battles with Sekio and his faction, didn't make a move. When Issei was weak and had really no political power other than Shibunkin, didn't make a move. After they took out Ryufui and it was just Issei, during the whole State of Ai rebellion, like right when Issei was coming into power, you know what I'm saying, during the side thing, during the coalition, Ousen has never once made any plays for the throne. All of this hearsay and all of this, oh, he's secretly plotting to be a king. I'm telling y'all, that is all just hoopla and fucking word of mouth that Ousen himself has put out there so that people underestimate him and that people view him in a certain way, and then when he battles them, he flips it on them and then they fucks him over. Because this is the same type of shit that got Ordo fucked over. When Ordo got the info from Raboku, like, yeah, Ousen doesn't gamble. Ousen doesn't take risk. Ousen, you know what I'm saying? Ousen's not the type of general to do this, that, and the third. And then when Ordo goes to fight Ousen, it's like, yeah, he's not a gambler. He's not going to take risks. And then he wipes out your elite army. He wipes out 8,000 of your elite corps. You know what I'm saying? Rinpa underestimated my man Ousen and got his ass stuck at a fort. Or at least got one of his top dudes stuck at a fort and lost that battle. Lost it, like, legit took an L, according to the stats, to Man Goku because of Ousen. You know what I'm saying? And, like, for a man this smart, this just, like, I don't know. My man be thinking so far ahead to the fake supply line going to Kinan, to my man's being able to, like, sense the rain coming. Yo, and honestly, if that's not an instinctual feat, I don't know what is. My man's literally looked up, said, oh, it's about to rain, hold. So, it's like, yo, given everything that we've seen from Ousen, not everything that people have said about Ousen, because those are all rumors that have to be taken with a grain of salt. So, given everything that we know about Ousen, when my man says he wants to usher in a new kingdom, I think it's more along the lines of what Sei is trying to do. Because if you think about it, once you unify the 7 kingdoms into one, it is now a new kingdom, right? So if Ousen is saying, you know what I'm saying, Raboku, in the new kingdom that we're forming, because that's what it's not a secret that Sei wants to unify China. So if Ousen is saying in this new kingdom, they're gonna need people like Raboku, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter how you slice it, Ousen is the man you want when you trying to unify multiple countries. When you're trying to unify multiple people, you don't need someone like Kanki who will rape, pillage, and murder every single civilian just to win the battle, as opposed to Ousen who will win the battle and then literally spare every civilian. Or every, like, come on, because if he's sparing battle commanders, he's sparing civilians. As long as you know what I'm saying, you take his word for him, you take his word that he's gonna treat you well. And as far as we've seen, Ousen hasn't, like, done any, like, underhanded, dirty shit like Kanki. You know what I'm saying? We haven't seen Ousen, like like kill women and children. We haven't seen Ousen send niggas body parts. We haven't seen Ousen just outright like lie to motherfuckers. Everything he told those people, everything he told those refugees was 100% fact. I'm sorry, this is war. I have to do this to win this war. I'm taking your food and I'm sending you east. Nothing about that was, you know what I'm saying, was like, it might have, like, I guess you can call it underhanded because he was using them to attack Yo, but it could have been a lot worse if somebody like Conky were to murder all 9 cities worth of people, take all of their food, and then go try to do something. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot different. So, I've never gotten the vibe that Ousen was the type to want to usurp. To me, it just seemed like Ousen was the type that, like because he's a noble and because, you know what I'm saying, his family, like, has a big stake in Quinn, you know what I'm saying? I just don't see him throwing all of that away to try to become king. Because it's also like this, it's like, yo, even if he were to take out like an Issei or somebody, would the people then accept him as their king? You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure Ousen is smart enough to think that far ahead to where, like, he can't just take out Sei and then expect them to make him king. He has to go about things a certain way. And honestly, you would have more freedom. Yeah, you have more power as a king, but you would have more freedom and more ability to shape your own wants and desires as a great general than you would as a king. Because, you know what I'm saying, if you're a great general like Oki and freely waging war, and, you know what I'm saying, you got hundreds of thousands of people at your side, and you have enough, like, the king has enough trust in you to not, you know what I'm saying, to not worry about you revolting on him, then that's honestly just like running a kingdom. It's just like being a king. If at the end of the wars you have enough land to say, yo, this is my kingdom, you know what I'm saying? I can see that being what Ousen is talking about, as opposed to him wanting to remove Issei from power and then take over Quinn like that. But that's just my interpretations. Those are just my thoughts. Like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more, and I'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Peace.